Good morning, friends and family of YouTube. It's Travis again, and today I'm going to be hiking Little Greenbrier Trail. I've actually done this hike once before on this direction, but there's a section about halfway up that I haven't hit, but I just wanted to show you real quick. One good thing about this trail is there's usually not very many people on it, and one of the reasons why is right here there's actually only parking enough for maybe 2 vehicles. Now you can come in and connect to this trail on down at like Metcalf Bottoms, and there's plenty of parking there, but as far as this section of trail, this is the only place really that you can park. Let me see if I can get a better view up here. If you can see that there. So not really a lot of parking. It is off the main road, but anyway, it's a pretty decent trail. Not a lot to see on this one. The section of trail that I'm gonna hit today, it's gonna take, gosh, I don't know, probably 4.5 hours to hike it. The whole thing, it's about 8.5 miles round trip, and there's a section up here where you can actually go down to the Walker Sisters cabin, which I've been there 2 or 3 times, and I'm still debating if I want to do that today or not. The reason why is that's going to add about another 1.5 miles to the trip, so make this about 10 miles, and I'm not sure if I'm ready to hike that far. But anyway, let me switch over to the chest mount and we'll get started. Oh, and one other thing before I switch over to the chest mount. I was actually planning to hike Chimney Tops again today, but I got a message last night on Twitter or X, whatever you call it now, basically giving a road update, and apparently that road that goes that direction over into North Carolina, they had closed it down due to snow and ice, and so that's twice that road has been closed in the past month or so. And I haven't been able to go to Chimney Tops, so I guess I'm gonna have to wait till it warms up a little bit more before I head that way. But today it is 28 degrees right now. I'm sure probably a little cooler than that here in the mountains itself, probably closer to 25, but it's supposed to be up close to 60, which will be nice later this afternoon. But I did go ahead and have this trail planned as a backup last night when I got the info, but the last time I did it, it was kind of impromptu, and I ended up hiking Old Sugar Lands Trail, which I did a video on that, and that actually turned out to be a really nice hike. But anyway, just wanted to let you know it is still cold in February, so wishing for warmer weather soon. But hopefully I'll get to Chimney Tops at some point. There's a section of that trail that I haven't done that I'm still eager to hike. So all right, now I'll switch over to the chest cam and we'll get started. Well, here's our first obstacle, and I've only been hiking about 10 minutes. Not horrible, but when you got a backpack on, trying to bend over and get under stuff like that definitely becomes more of a challenge. But as you can see, I made it. Now remember this little spot from last time. I'm gonna walk up here. I can't remember what was actually up here when I got to the top, but let's see. All right, so I do remember this, that it connected with another trail, but I don't know what trail that is, and I think I tried to look it up and couldn't remember. Well, I think I looked it up and I do remember I couldn't find anything, so this might be a private trail because I know it borders up against some private property. But anyway, pretty good view of the area down there below. But let's go back and get on the part of the trail that I do know, which is Little Greenbrier. All right, so I lied. I came up this portion of the trail that I didn't recognize, just for the fact that I wanted to get this view, and I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see, but yeah, pretty good view from down below. All right, so now we'll start back down and get on the main trail again. All right, so I lied a second time. I'm not on the main trail yet. I'm right here where I was. I just want to come up here and see what this actually was or where it went to, and it just finals out up here. So I'm guessing this is part of that other private property, and looks like people have come up here to build a campfire. But I mean, look at this view. This is actually better than the one that I had a little higher up. But there you go. All right, now this time I promise I'm going back to the main trail. All right, see, I told you I was gonna go back down here on the main trail, but I was gonna film it just to prove it and to make sure I could find my way back. And here we go. And here's another spot in the trail where it connects with that same path that we were looking at earlier. So it goes on up the hill, and that's where we were just a few minutes ago. But as you can see, it circles around and goes on down that direction. So I think that does belong to that part of the property. But we'll head back this way. Well, we've got one natural formation over the trail, and then we got this one that looks like it's recent, where the tree has fallen over. There's another one, and that one doesn't look too awfully sturdy either. But yeah, as you can tell, over the past few months during the winter, like some of this stuff's older, it's been down for a while, and then some of this stuff is much newer. You can see this one's been sawed fairly recently, but lots of trees across the path. We've had some heavy rains and wind. Here's just another shot. Be a nice piece of property down there where that pond is at. But anyway, like I was saying, we've had a lot of storms, heavy winds, and there's been a lot of trees down. So I'm assuming this spring and summer will be a lot of work to be done to get those cleared out of the way. And here's another one up here. All right, so I do remember this last time. Let me walk up here where you can see it a little bit better. But you can see the fence here separating the boundary between the national park and then the private property. And then there's this little area down here. It's actually like a platform that you could probably sleep on top of, or like a viewing platform that you've got a good view of the area down there below. And then you could probably camp out up underneath it to get out of the rain, but that's part of that private property area that I mentioned. But anyway, just a neat little spot there. I'm not gonna venture down there today. Got too many miles in front of us. Yeah, I lied again. The curiosity got the best of me. I just want to come here real quick to give you a shot of this from this platform. I mean, look at that. It's early morning. It's about 7:30. There's a slight frost on the ground. Like I said, it was about 28 degrees when I left the house this morning. But here, let me just pan around. You can hear a woodpecker off in the distance. Not sure if you can hear it on the GoPro. But yeah, what a view as the sun comes up early in the morning. Alright, so I'm coming up on the first intersection here, and it took me about an hour to get to this point. So let's see what the signs say. Ware Cove Gap 1.9. I think that's where I just came from. Laurel Falls Trail 2.4. That's the trail that I haven't done before, so I want to get to that. Fighting Creek Gap 5.5. Yeah, we're not going that far. And then this is Little Greenbrier School, cutting back down this portion, and Little Metcalf Bottoms is 2.1. All right, so if you come in from Metcalf Bottoms, it'd be 2.1 miles to get here. The direction I came was 1.9, so a little closer. Greenbrier School is this direction, but this is also where the Walker Sisters cabin is. So we're going to go back down here, even though I said I probably wouldn't do it because it's going to add about another 1.5 miles. But anyway, let's go. All right, so we're coming up to the next intersection. And if we go to the left, which is where we are going to go, that takes us down to the Walker Sisters place. If you continue straight, that takes you back towards Metcalf Bottoms parking area, and you'll go past the Little Greenbrier School. It's about a 1/2 mile walk to get from where we were at that original intersection back down here. So that only took a few minutes. But let's head this way, and I'll show you what the cabin looks like. Well, here's what it looks like as you come around the bend. And I really hope I have the first one here this morning, and hopefully the only one here right now, so we can go in and get some good shots of the place. There's actually, well, usually there's some deer in the area when I've been up here in the past, but I haven't seen any so far this morning. Let's go right here first. Take a shot here of the old spring house. Ooh, that's creaky. Need some WD-40. This is where they would have stored some of their food in the wintertime and probably more during the summer, because this would have stayed cooler with the water, but then they could also it was a good water source for them. Let's head on up here. Alright, so here is the cabin itself. And they did reopen it last year. They've been doing some work on it, so I'm glad to see this is open. Let me do a quick walk around here first, and then we'll go inside. Alright, so let's scan around the outside of it real quick, just so that you can see what this would have looked like. That's where we came in at, back here. Back part of the cabin. And this side here. Here's the front. Here's a secondary building, which I'm sure that they used for additional storage. Probably put some of their, maybe even like hay and other things in there, tools. Walk around this real quick just so you can see it. Let's see what the landscape looks like back through here. And we're back around here to where the cabin is. Alright, so let's head inside and see what it looks like. Alright, so let's head inside. I don't know how well this is going to show up based on the amount of light that's in here, but we'll try. There's a fireplace. Some of the windows. So, as you can tell, this is not not very high, but for me it works great. One of the advantages of being short. Let's hit in here. Here's the main fireplace, windows, and see if we can get a shot of this up here, but that's the ladder going up. I'm going to switch over into the low light settings, and hopefully that'll give us a little better picture. Alright, so let's try this. And if I recall, I think they got it blocked off. Yep, so let's do this. Alright, we'll see if you can see that. Not sure how well it's going to show up, but this is kind of caged off, so this is as far as I can go. But I did want to show you the upstairs and just give you an idea. This is what I'm talking about, where it's like completely caged off. You can't get up through here any longer. But anyway, let's head back down. Alright, so hopefully that showed up okay upstairs. It's just there's not much light. It's still kind of early in the morning, but as you come out here the side door, see the sun now nice and bright off in the distance. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed that part. This is one of my favorite cabins, believe it or not, and glad they did the repairs on it and opened it back up so we had the opportunity to come up here and see it. Let me pan around here one more time just so you can see. So that was the upstairs, that window, and again, here's the front of it. Alright, so we're going to head out and hit that main part of the trail that I haven't done yet. Alright, so one point I did want to make before I got out of here and show you a little bit of video is there's some old newspapers up here on the wall. There's not much left of it, but this is what I've heard they use to help insulate inside of the cabin on the walls themselves, so you can't really make out anything that it's saying here. Just trying to see if there's anything we might be able to make out, but anyway, just thought that was kind of neat. Some of the old newspapers. I wish I could find a date on one of these, but I haven't been able to so far. Anyway, thought that was kind of cool. Thought I'd point that out before we got out of here. Alright, so I'm headed back up to hit the main trail again. So we're back at this first intersection. So that takes you back towards Metcalf Bottoms. That takes you down towards the Walker Sisters place. And this is the trail that we came down. So we got to head back up here to this other intersection and then veer off, I think, to the right. Well, we're back up here to this main intersection. So that's where we just came from. That takes you down to the Walker Sisters place. That's the trail we originally came in this morning. And then this is the part of the trail that we're going to head to that I haven't done before. So Laurel Falls Trail. So we got 2.4 miles to where it intersects with that one, and that's where we're headed. All right, so on this part of the trail so far, really hasn't been much to see. This is kind of the view. It's just off in the woods. And this is kind of what the trail looks like. It's been uphill most of the way, and it's been clear, but my guess is like all of this stuff right now that's currently dead, like in the spring, probably by the summertime at the latest, like this stuff is going to be overgrown into the trail, which will make it a little bit more difficult to get up through here. But as of right now, since it's still February and everything's dead, making that part easier. I have run into a few spider webs, which kind of surprised me. That's one of the things I'd actually forgotten about that I that I don't miss hiking in the warmer months. But yeah, this is pretty much the way this trail is. It's uphill probably the rest of the way until we get over here to where it intersects with Laurel Falls Trail. All right, so we've made it to the last intersection, and this will be the stopping point for me. So, Little Greenbrier Trail, Ware Cove Gap, 4.3. So that's the direction that we just came from. So 4.3 miles to get here, plus I added all the extra mileage in down there next to the Walker Sisters cabin. So if you continue on to the right here, Cove Mountain Trail, another 0.9 miles. Or if you head down this direction, Laurel Falls is 1.8. Fighting Creek Gap, I think that takes you all the way down to the main road. So 3.1 miles to get down there. But I did want to show you this real quick. This is what you're gonna have to get through if you do decide to go this route. So pretty impressive tree here that is blocking the main trail, and as you can tell, people have found a way around it. But yeah, that will take you back down to Laurel Falls, but we're not doing that today because I got a pretty decent hike to get back. And so there you go. All right, so that was Greenbrier Trail up to the Walker Sisters cabin, and then Greenbrier Gap over to Laurel Falls Trail. If I hadn't stopped at the cabin, it would have been about 8.5 miles total, but I added another 1.5 miles going over to the Walker Sisters cabin to visit that, which I couldn't resist. And so that'll put a grand total of about 10 miles round trip. Probably take me about 5.5 hours in total. But overall, a really good hike. Enjoyed it. Most of this trail, though, the gap up to Laurel Falls, basically just woods, really not a whole lot to see. But if you're wanting a trail where there's not a lot of people, this is one I would highly recommend. I was going to say that I didn't really see hardly anybody on this trail, but towards the end, I passed a couple of groups on the way up. And then when I got up to the intersection there at Laurel Falls Trail, there was several people actually there headed on up to the air quality control tower, which is, I guess, is also the fire tower. So there's several people headed that way, which kind of shocked me. But anyway, still a really good hike. Highly recommend it. But like I said, it's going to be at least 8.5 miles, so be prepared for that. But the weather today has turned out great. Give you one shot here now that the sun has started to come out up above the mountains. I mean, tough to beat that. So I think it's supposed to get up around 60 this afternoon, which would be awesome. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button. And I'd also go ahead and ask that you hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything, but it'll just give you a notification the next time I put another video out. But until next time, just keep walking.